Hey everyone, Nick Kretikos of Nick's Seasonal Decor, and tonight you are watching me on Bowdabra. We are live here on Bowdabra each and every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and stick around because we're going to be doing something that is highly requested, and that is a tree topper. So I'm going to show you guys how to do one for about a 5 to 6 foot tree, and we're going to be using our large Bowdabra. You can find the Bowdabras, all of the ribbons, and the wires. We have both the gold and silver Bowdabra wires available at nicksseasonaldecor.com. For our tree topper, we're actually going to be using a Sam's Club roll. I still have tons of these left over, and we got to put them to use. So also, too, as you guys come in, don't forget Bowdabra does give away a free roll of ribbon each and every week that we are live. And all you have to do is just comment down below, letting us know that you would like to win.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Dory Lynn.
Yes, and Alex is behind the camera tonight, so be sure to welcome Alex. Hi, Giselle. So we're going to save the tree topper for a little bit later on. So here are the wires. We have them, like I said, in both gold and silver. We're going to be using silver to start tonight.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa. And these come on 100-yard spools.
Hi, Carol Ann.
How's everyone doing? I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. I posted a picture on my page yesterday showing everybody the extreme drought that we've been having. So we actually have had a lot of forest fires, some actually not even a mile down the road. And our grass was looking like hay. But today, God let it rain down here in Massachusetts and New Hampshire, which is really, really nice. So thankfully, we got some rain today. And Dad said we're going to have some more rain for the rest of the week or so, which is desperately needed. So we're going to start with our new 7/8 inch ribbon. These did go out of stock, and I think this is the orange roll that you were looking for, Alex.
I think it might be.
So we're going to just snip about 20-inch pieces or so, maybe a little bit longer. Let's do 24-inch pieces, give or take. Doesn't have to be exact. And we're going to pre-cut these ahead of time. And in doing so, what you end up doing is you just kind of have one step out of the way, and then the process of working it into your Bowdabra is really easy. So far we have 3. Let's come back in with a few more. Truth be told, I'm not really measuring. They don't have to be exact, and I actually prefer them to be slightly off for the best effect.
Hi, Jill. Hi, Rebecca. Mary would love to win. Maria would love to win from Texas.
Awesome, you guys. Yeah, let us know. And hey, Marianne, if you enjoy watching me here on Bowdabra, the number one thing you guys can do is let me know that you enjoy, and we'll continue doing lots and lots of lives. So for those of you that have a tough time holding ribbons, primarily we teach on our page how to design bows by hand. But for those of you that struggle with holding the ribbons, you haven't, been able to tie it by hand. For those of you with arthritis, carpal tunnel, the Bowdabra is the perfect alternative because it essentially holds all of your ribbon in place, and then you're able to do what we're doing here, which is just to insert it right into the Bowdabra and not worry about losing it. So we placed one piece there with about a 3.5-inch loop. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. And we always want to mirror image this design, or this bow. So since our next loop is on the opposing side, we're going to come back in on the other side now and do the same process over and over again.
Hi, Julie from Wales.
Hey,
Hi,
Julie.
Anne from Ohio.
Ohio in the house.
Alberta would love to win tonight.
Okay.
Hi,
So
Paula from Missouri.
continue working these in. All right, one left. And then we can tie it off, or we can add more. Should we add a couple more, Al?
Yeah, why not?
Let's add a couple more, you guys. Let's make this bow really full. And stick around. Like I said, we're going to be designing a tree topper. It's been highly requested, and I figured tonight, actually I figured 2 minutes before the video, that we are going to do one. So let's do another 3 or 4 pieces of this so that we have a really full bow. And then when we go to dovetail it and fluff it out, it's going to look really pretty. So this ribbon is wired. I pretty much only use wired ribbon at this point in time. I do love using non-wired ribbon for floral designs or fresh floral designs, but for artificial designing, being in business and selling our designs, we do want to make sure it's as easy for our customers or friends and family, depending on where your wreaths and designs end up. You want to make it as easy as possible to fluff these bows out. And by having the wire, all you have to do essentially is just pull that loop out and adjust it.
Hi, Karen. She says, hello, Nick. Who wouldn't want to win?
That's right, Karen.
We have Kimberly from Maryland. She'd love to win tonight.
Alex actually wants to head to Maryland next month for the Pickle Festival.
Yes.
Yeah, tell everybody about that. What is that?
I saw that the world's largest pickle festival is in Baltimore, Maryland, and it's called the Big Dill. So if any of you guys know more about it, please let me know, because I'm thinking about dragging Nick down there with me. I think it's September, the end of September.
Yes, and we love pickles. I could eat a whole jar of pickles with nothing besides the pickle. I love pickles that much. But I know lots of people, Alex, actually aren't fans of pickles.
I know.
So let us know down below. Do you guys like pickles, or are you guys team no pickle? See, honestly though, I only like dill pickles. I don't like sweet pickles where they're overly sweet. So now that we have our bow constructed and we tied it off, now what we can do, and I see we're at 200 viewers. Thank you so much for tuning in. Now we can dovetail. So all I'm doing is I'm just folding each and every tail in half and cutting it into a dovetail. That way we have a nice professional edge to all of our loops and tails.
Hi, Doris from Kentucky.
Hey, Doris.
Hi, Pam from Ontario.
I see Karen loves dill pickles.
Pat loves pickles. Lisa loves pickles as well.
Yeah, I'd say all my friends do, but I feel like a lot of people still don't.
Yeah, Denise says no.
Denise doesn't like pickles. Okay.
Angela says she makes homemade dill pickles.
Ooh, homemade pickles. I wanted to this year, but honestly, if we're going to be honest, you guys, with this drought, I'm just thankful I didn't do a big garden or plant too many plants, because nothing is looking too great in this heat. So I guess it's a good thing I didn't get overboard this year. So let's continue dovetailing the other side. I see over 220 of you guys. So don't forget to join Bowdabra's free group, the Bowdabra Fan Gallery, as well as the Nick Seasonal Decor Crafting Community. Both groups are a great resource for added inspiration, seeing designers create their masterpieces, and getting inspiration above anything, right? So those two groups are great resources.
We have lots of pickle lovers here.
Lots of pickle lovers.
I see a lot of sweet pickle lovers, though, too.
Sweet pickles. I don't know.
Dory Lynn says she's team extra pickles.
Extra, yes.
Hi, Pamela.
Hey, Pamela. And if somebody gets like a burger at a restaurant or anything where it comes with a pickle, I'm your man. I'll take it. So let's fluff these loops out. We're going to just start by pulling the actual loops all the way around. And basically, when it comes time to fluff, you guys, the main thing I look for is just distribution. Even then, if we're using multiple ribbons, you don't see me focus, super heavily on spacing out the colors. I usually go for the shape. So if the shape looks consistent and even, I consider that to be a beautiful bow. So then do the same thing to the other side. Pull those loops apart. Fried pickles, says Judy. Me too. But at this moment in time, I feel like we've overdone fried pickles. I don't know if you feel that way, Alex, but I feel like for the last year, every time there's an app, we get a fried pickle.
I know. We ate a lot of fried pickles, guys. A lot.
So let's fluff this side out.
Hi, Trudy.
Hey, Trudy. Hey, Roberta. Nice to see you. So as you can see, we did a whole lot of loops on this, which means a whole lot of tail. So for every loop that we have how many tails, Alex?
2.
2, that's right. So if you do 7 loops on a bow, let's say 4 on one side, 3 on the other, you actually have a total of 14 tails. And the more you do, the more you'll have. Okay, look at how pretty that bow is.
Pam says drink the juice also. I love pickle juice.
Yes, and I heard it's good for you,
yes,
is what I've heard.
She said electrolytes.
Electrolytes.
Debbie says, love watching you on Mondays for a breath of fresh air.
Thank you, Debbie. All right, there's bow number 1. Show some hearts if you like that. It's time to switch gears. Lindy loves pickles as well. Marianne doesn't eat pickles, but her family does. Marianne! Who doesn't like pickles in our family? Steven's not a big pickle guy. Dad could give or take, I'd say.
I think he loves pickles.
Fried pickles and stuff like that?
Not
I don't know.
pickles.
I feel like he's like,
he can get picky too.
He can get picky. See, when I say a fan of pickles, I'm saying if there's a pickle on the table and somebody's not eating it, I will think about that pickle. You know? Dad, on the other hand, he would just be like, okay, that's a pickle. But I'd want the pickle.
Yeah.
So now we're going to use one of our Swiss dot. This is leftover ribbon from a kit we designed last week. And, even when we design kits or designs live, we still have tons of ribbon left over. So 10-yard spool, we created a very full traditional bow, and we still have enough to do another 2 or 3. So I worked my tails in. Now what we can do is start coming back in with our loops. So with traditional bows, the more loops you have, the more full your bow is going to be. And right off the top of your head, you might be thinking, okay, well, I want to add a whole lot of loops. But if you're doing a certain design where you want to incorporate flowers and greenery, you might decide to use less loops. That way you have the possibility of coming back in with that. So it really depends on the creation you're creating and the aesthetic you're going for. So for Christmas, I do like a lot of loops. I do like it to be a little bit fuller than other times of year, along with fall. And then spring and summer, we typically do less loops, so it's a little bit airier and a little less congested. But this time of year, the more loops, the merrier, right?
Yes. Teresa says, your grandmother's mac and cheese video made me hungry.
Yes, and I finally posted that recipe on our website. So I got the feedback, and then I said, you know what? Because it's not going to get done. So me and Yaya were sitting in the living room. We were watching The Walking Dead. And I asked Yaya to give me the recipe, and she did. So when Yaya gives us a recipe, we have to ask her a million questions, because she'll be like a pinch of this, a dash of that, you know.
She measures with her eyes.
She, you know, at 80 years old, she's got it locked down. So that's enough loops for me. We can snip off our ribbon.
Lindy says, you always make very pretty bows.
Thank you, Lindy. I see we're at 230 live viewers. Thank you guys for tuning in. Show some hearts if you like seeing me make bows. Take those wires to the middle. Since we folded a longer wire in half, what ends up happening is you have a loop and then a cut end. Doesn't matter which way it is, just pull those two cut ends through that loop, pull it really tight, pull it out of your Bowdabra, and now it's secured enough for you to walk away, but not secured enough to place on anything. So then what we're going to do is take those wires to the back side of the bow and tie it off.
Hi, Dee. Hi, Kathy.
Hey, you guys. Kathy wants some ribbon. So tie it 3 times. At least, you want to make sure it's secured, you guys. We've said it before. Worst thing that can happen is your entire bow falls apart. And it might be something you can fix, but if you're giving this to somebody or selling this, that's a big no-no. Wouldn't you say, Alex? You don't want your bow to fall apart. So pull those loops apart. Give everything a good fluff.
Karen says, I rarely comment, but when pickles are brought up, I can't resist.
Karen, we got you with the pickles. All right. There is a very pretty ice blue and red Christmas traditional bow. Let me pull my tails down. Look at that. What do you guys think of that bow? Watching from Ventura, California. Welcome, Carol. Indiana. Dee would love some ribbon. So there is our traditional bow. And who's a fan of that color scheme? I think it's beautiful. I know it might not be for everybody, but I do really like it. So now we're going to come back in with our wreath bow. And then, like I said, you guys, we're going to make a tree topper. So if you want to see a Christmas tree topper, hands up. And somebody's got to remind me because I might forget.
Hi, Bob.
Hey, Bob. So work your wires into the middle of your Bowdabra.
Callie says beautiful.
Thank you, Callie. Over 250 of you guys. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use our burlap ribbon.
Alberta says love it. Anne loves that ribbon.
Thank you, Anne. Pickled okra. I don't think I've ever had pickled okra. It's not something that we have around here, I'd say.
Yeah.
Okra, grits, biscuits and gravy. I feel like there's not many places that do that.
Yeah.
Definitely no one grits. If I asked any of my friends what grits were, they would have no idea. Okay, so now we're going to do something different. We cut our length of tails. Now we're going to do a few loops on either side that are about 4.5 inches or so.
Marianne loves that ribbon.
Right, this burlap is one of my all-time favorites. Unless Marianne was talking about the Swiss dot. Swiss dot, that's one of my favorites for Christmas too, that blue and red. I'm so happy we got more in. That was definitely a heavily requested ribbon.
Lots of people are saying yes to the tree topper.
All right, you guys got it. I see your hearts. So that's 2 on each side. Now we'll come back in with a slightly smaller one. So yeah, that's only about a ½ inch to an inch shorter. We'll do that to either side.
Barbara says, beautiful. Love watching y'all.
Thank you, Barbara. And time for our button loop. So our button loop doesn't have to be big by any means.
Bob asked, did it rain on you guys yet?
It did. Finally today it rained. So perfect timing, right? I complained about no rain yesterday. And when I say no rain, you guys, I mean no rain for weeks on end. And it's not like we live in Arizona or Nevada or California where it's kind of normal. We usually have decent rain in the summers. You know, enough for me to get by not watering every day. Not this summer. It's been a dry, hot summer. All right, there is our bow. Should we make the wreath real quick? Let's make the wreath real quick, and then we'll switch gears and make our tree topper. So we're going to just take one of our 14-inch grapevines, take our bow. I'm going to place mine in the lower left today.
Jennifer says she loves your videos.
Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate that. Pull those wires to the front. I like to tie it from the front so the back of my wreath is nice and clean. I don't have to do much cleanup whatsoever. So oftentimes you might hear me if you're in the wreath community or watch me live on my page. I talk about the importance of mechanics. So I know some designers out there have to clean up the back of their reeds, cut the stems, cut any wires that are sticking out. We very rarely have to, and it's all about the way you add your flowers in. So I'm going to show you guys a little hack for those of you that might be new to wreath making on how to work your stems in so you don't have to clean up the back of your reeds. I hardly, if ever, have to. Of course, we always check.
We have Carolyn joining us from Australia.
Hey, Carolyn. So there is the bow. Isn't that pretty? Something simple?
So pretty.
I love burlap. Now we're going to come back in with some of these daisies. I thought these daisies would be perfect. So these are our Real Touch daisies. We're going to just snip these stems short. If I can find my wire snips. Yaya's been here, you guys. You know what that means. All right, we'll take these things. I don't know if they're going to work, but we'll make them work. There we go.
Becky asked, how long do you cut the stems?
It really depends on the project, right? I usually go right down to the spine of the pick or the stem. So for instance, this right here is the main branch. I usually cut my stems right down to that. And sometimes we don't have to go any more than that, right? Sometimes, we can only cut them an inch or two. And sometimes we don't need them long, and sometimes we do need them longer. So it really depends on what I'm working with and how big or how small I want the display to be. So I cut down 3 stems of our daisies. And after this, we're going to make a tree topper, you guys. I know some of you guys are probably like, skip the wreath, Nick. All right, so we're going to switch gears and use our glue skillet now. Take our stems, dip them in, and whenever you're working stems in, this is the tip, you guys, to always work them in parallel with the grapevine. You always want to work them in this way. You never want to stick a stem in and then bend it to shape. What happens when you do that is that it typically protrudes through the back, which is a big no-no. We don't want to have to cut the stems on the back. Even if this is going against a plain door without a window, we have like a little window in the middle, like a little oval window. Even if it's against a plain door, you still want it to be nice and clean on the back. So good mechanics are very, very important.
Hi, Karen. She's joining us from Manchester, England.
Hey, Karen. Manchester. All right, we'll work in a piece there. We got to take a trip one of these days, Alex, and visit all of our UK friends, right?
I know.
We've been talking about it.
Hopefully soon.
Maybe we'll stay with Karen. How's that sound, Karen? Can we come stay with you?
Please?
We would love to check out the UK. We've been there for an hour, but I'll still count it.
I will too. It counts.
All right, so there is 3 daisy sprays. Fluff it out. And I think we can come back in with a little bit of filler. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah.
You like these? Just as a little filler?
I think they're perfect.
All right, let's work in some of these, you guys. Not too many.
Hi, Sue.
Hey, Sue.
Teresa would love to win from Alabama.
Alabama.
Hi, Robin.
So with these cutters, I should be able to just cut them. But I can't. I gotta find my other cutters. There we go.
Karen said, lots of Karens tonight. We are great people.
Yes. And I appreciate all of you guys spending your Monday afternoon or evening or morning with us. And if you're catching the replay, do me a favor and let me know as well. I always love to see who comes back and watches my videos at a later point. So just taking some of these in. I typically tell you guys to use like a complementary color so you're not losing the shape and the color of the other flowers, but I think these actually work nicely in a small dose. It just kind of looks like a big bouquet of yellow flowers to me. What do you think, Alex? You like all the yellows?
Yeah, I love it.
Place a piece there.
Hi, Linda from Kentucky.
Kentucky. Welcome, Linda. 2 stems left. Then what we can do is switch gears and make our tree topper. final stem. Where, Alex? Right underneath or on this side? Here or here?
Let's see. There. That
Okay.
side. We have Brenda watching from Virginia.
Welcome, Brenda.
Nita says, good afternoon. Very pretty.
Good afternoon to you as well. And there we have our simple little yellow wreath. What do you guys think of that? Hey, Kathy from Michigan, from Ireland. Welcome, Sheila. I think that turned out pretty.
So pretty.
Something simple, you guys. 10, 15 bucks. If you think wreath making has to be expensive, or if another designer has told you that, they are wrong. You can do so much with so little. If you're on a budget, wreath making could be the perfect hobby or business for you. So we're going to take some pipe cleaners now. Bowdabra wire is great, but I do like something a little bit thicker and a little bit more maneuverable for my tree toppers. That way I can just tie it right into the tree.
Marianne says, love all yellow, and I love yellow and purple together.
Me too. So one pipe cleaner or two pipe cleaners twisted really tightly together. You want to make sure that you're not able to kind of undo those ends. That way, when it comes time to secure it to your tree, it's nice and easy and it's perfect. So we're going to just take that pipe cleaner, work it right into the middle. And then what we can do is open up our Sam's Club ribbon.
Teresa says, love, simple. Phyllis says, beautiful. Julie says, beautiful.
Thank you, guys. Hey, Lynn.
Bob says, love the Santa in the back of you. Is that for date night?
I know, yes and no. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on, Bob. But he is going to be for you guys. I can't wait to show you that. So for our tails on this, I'm not going to cut them as long as I would like, just because you guys aren't going to be able to see them anyway within the frame. So I'm going to cut them about yay long. So if this was a 5 to 7 foot tree, I always recommend cutting it like double the height of the tree. At least. So double to triple. That way your customer or you are able to weave it in to the tree and not just have it sit on the surface of it. So I always recommend at least double the height. So if it's a 5 foot tree, you know, at least 10 feet of ribbon, 10 foot of tails, if not 15. So let's do 3 sets of the tails. So imagine these are like 15 feet long. It becomes a little bit difficult to manage, but what I always recommend is taking a clothespin, rolling it up, right, Alex? And then just clothespinning it together. So don't be afraid, too, of creating massive tree topper bows and then not even using them for a tree. Think about it with these lengths of tails on a lamppost, right? Wouldn't that be pretty?
Yeah.
Or we have shepherd's hooks outside, Alex. We could do a big bow.
Yes.
Maybe we'll try that this year, you guys.
Lynn says, my absolute favorite ribbon ever. Love the color contrast.
I know, isn't this pretty with the lime green edges, you guys? Hey, Barbara. So we worked our 3 tails in. Now what we can do is start actually making the topper part, right? So to do that, we'll take our ribbon, place it in, leave about 1/2 inch to 1 inch. That's going to be the back side, so you're not even going to see it in the end. Then just start twirling it, making your loops. So let's do about 10+ inch loops.
Gigi loves that ribbon.
Right? Isn't it a pretty ribbon?
Lisa loves the color.
So another thing you guys can do too, and it's all about repetition, which is why I'm adding the tails in initially. But if you're adding super long tails and you don't have clothespins, or if you don't feel like clothespinning it, what you can always do too is add your tails in afterwards, right? So just add an extra pipe cleaner behind and do it artificially. Some of you guys might have heard me use that term in the past on my page. Adding things in artificially when it comes to bows, you have that effect in the end where it all looks like one continuous piece of ribbon, but we're doing it in steps or adding it in, you know, through a different pipe cleaner or whatever means necessary. So even with our tree toppers, you don't have to make all of the loops the same. Don't stress about that. I feel like that's the #1 thing people stress about. So if you're trying to make a perfect bow, go for imperfection. And you're not going to be able to tell the difference anyway. So that's 3. The bigger your bow, the more loops you should add. So if we were doubling this bow, we might want to work in like 15 loops on each side. Almost 300 of you guys. Thank you guys so much for sharing and giving this video a heart. I appreciate it. We are live here on Bowdabra each and every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm Nick, and Alex is your cameraman tonight. Or camera woman.
Pamela asked, is 10-inch the total length of the loops, or is it per loop?
Per loop. So these are about, they're shorter than 10 inches, about 8 inches or so. And, you know, you can go up to 10. Keep in mind, the bigger your loop, the more difficulty you're going to have to fluff it because the wires just can't support the weight of the loop itself. So I recommend wired ribbon, more specifically like a burlap or even a velvet would be nice too to support the weight of itself. So these are about 8 inches. We're creating about a 16-inch bow when all is said and done, which is a rather large bow, right?
Yes.
So this would definitely work for, I'd say, a 5 to 6 foot tree.
And Carolyn asked how long the tails were again.
So these tails I just cut short. So these are just for decoration purposes, but I would recommend cutting them at least 2 times the size of the tree itself. So 5-foot tree, you want to double that, 10-foot tails, preferred 15, even more preferred like 20. That way you have possibilities, you guys. That way you can do different things with it. Because once you cut it at that 10-foot mark, you're kind of stuck with that 10-foot piece. Of course, you can come back in and work in tails in a different way. But your best bet is to always cut them as long as you possibly can. And it's not like it's wasteful, because if you end up not needing a 20-foot piece, you can always use 20 feet of ribbon in a bow, right?
Shirley says, love your designs. You have a great talent. Pretty ribbon, watching from Michigan.
From Michigan. Welcome, and I appreciate your kind words. All right, come on. I have like 10 scissors on my table, staple gun. We'll do 1 or 2 more. Actually, just cut it here.
Gloria says, pretty ribbon.
Thank you, Gloria. Undo the ribbon. There we go. And whatever we have here will work. Just flip it over. Come back in with this loop again. Coming back in with this loop.
And we have our winner tonight.
Ooh, who's our lucky winner?
Congratulations to Brenda England Moore from Katy, Texas.
Congratulations, Brenda. Let's all take a second and congratulate her. You are tonight's winner. So make sure to send Bowdabra a Facebook message, and they will be able to send your choice of ribbon your way. So don't forget, we are live here each and every Monday for the time being, and every week that we are live, you do have the possibility of winning a free roll of ribbon. All you have to do is just let us know you would like to win. So we'll take our pipe cleaners that we added. We're able to really tighten those. Then what I'll do is I'll sit back down. We'll pull our tails forward. So if this is your 12-foot tree or your 6-foot tree, you could always do 2. So we have one tree that we see 3/4 of the way around, right? One's against a window. We have another one that you see about half, and another one about half as well. So I wouldn't actually add a tree topper to the back of it because it's just kind of needless. But if you have a tree in the middle of your room, a stately tree that you can see the backside of, you're going to want to come back in with 2 loops or 2 bows within your wreath, or your tree. So pull those loops apart. Pull some forward, some backwards. Get it all fluffed out. And another good thing too, a good tip, is to use the tree for your advantage, right? Tie this bow directly into the branches and the boughs of the tree for added stability. I mean, most trees, artificial trees, are all wired anyway, right? It's the same thing as our reeds, so you're able to tie it right on.
Jennifer says, funky ribbon.
I know,
Sue
I love
says
this ribbon.
her tree rotates.
Ooh, so there you go. We have a rotator on my 12-foot tree, and I used it one year, and I wouldn't use it again just because it takes a lot of ornaments, right, Alex?
Yes.
So I'm kind of a lazy tree decorator. But I would love to see pictures of your trees, you guys. Be sure to share them in the Nick Seasonal Decor Crafting community and the Bowdabra fan gallery so we can see all of your beauties. And look at that.
I love how big it is.
How's it look? Does it look like a bow?
Yeah.
And there's your longer tail. So these are only cut, what, 3.5, 4 feet? You're going to need a lot longer for a longer tree. But I don't feel like dealing with super long tails. So that is going to wrap up this week's live. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for being here. If you enjoy watching me here on Bowdabra, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. Hopefully I've inspired you to make a bow, and if I haven't, what are you waiting for, right? You definitely can do it. Just don't put as much thought into it as you may think, and that's coming from personal experience. I want to thank Dory, Joe, and Sandy for having me as a guest, and I will see you all next Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. I am Nick Kretikos of Nick's Seasonal Decor. Alex is behind the camera, and thank you so much for watching. So maybe we'll find a tree to put this on and take a picture. What do you think? So bye, everyone.
Good night, everyone.